If I can go back in time, I definitely wish I would have watched the video like this. So if you're watching this, then consider yourself smart and prepared, because I just went into the experience blindly. But no, for real, college is truly a journey, and you learn so much through it all. It's genuinely not a video in the world that can give you every single tool and every single lesson that you will learn throughout college. But what this video will do is make the process a bit smoother for you. I'm just gonna start off with dating, because I know that some people see themselves finding their husband, their wife in college, and they've heard all these success stories. And while that is true, and while that does happen, I would like to say that if you are a freshman in college, dating should be at the bottom of your priority. And I'm speaking from experience, and I'm not gonna even say that dating was at the top of my priority, but dating is just something that you shouldn't really be looking forward to whenever you get to college, especially if you're going to date freshmen. And the thing is that when you get to college, there's gonna be a big group of people that have never had freedom like this in their lives. So due to that, that's gonna show. That is really gonna show. You're gonna see a lot of people who act out a lot, who want to have their cake and eat it too. So do I think you can have a successful relationship your freshman year and end up being married? No. While it is possible, yes, but do I think that that's gonna work out in a lot of people's favors? Honestly, it's honestly an event that most people are just gonna have to, like, you live and you learn. Like, you're probably just gonna have to do it anyway. Like, you can hear this and still go think that you found the love of your life your freshman year of college, and then it ends in heartbreak, and you'll be like, wow, I remember she made a video and she told me not to date, but I did it anyway. I think that your freshman year, like, I think you can have your fun, whatever you feel like your fun is as far as the dating realm, but to be looking for a serious relationship, I don't think that's something that you should prioritize. Prioritize definitely making a mark your freshman year academic wise. Get like good grounding as far as GPA wise. Don't just think that just because it's freshman year that GPA is not going to matter. You're going to set the tone freshman year for your GPA. Now, if you fall short, you definitely can bring it back up over the years to come. Focus on that GPA. Don't think that you're about to find your soulmate freshman year. Next, rate my professor. Now, I know this sounds silly. Truly take rate my professor seriously. My first like 2 years of college, I took rate my professor seriously. I used to go and look at it and all that. And then it got to a point in junior year, I just didn't really care, because I was just like, whatever. Like, I was just like, whatever. It's two teachers anyway, like, that I got to pick from. Like, I'm just going to pick it. Now, my senior year, I did regret not going on rate my professor, because I had a teacher that I did not like. I go and rate my professor, and come to find out there were so many negative things about the teacher. And I was like, wow, had I just rate my professor, I could have took the other teacher, because a lot of people took another teacher and they was like, oh yeah, she's like the best, and this, that, and the third, and the class was this, and the class was that. Like, just use rate my professor, because it honestly will help. These are comments coming from real people, so it's like, I would take their stuff into consideration. Now, you can obviously tell, like, if you read somebody's stuff, some people are just mad, some people just didn't do work. You can weed out the people who are just mad that they didn't just get an A by not coming to class. This is not high school anymore. Don't think that 8 a.m. classes and classes 5 days a week is something that you can do just because you did it in high school. Let me make this clear. You are only going to high school, not even just high school, but just K through 12. You were only getting up at 6 a.m. and going to school 5 days a week because legally you had to do that. The people would come to your door and get your parents if you was not in them classrooms. Your parents will make you go to school. It's the big difference between K through 12 versus college. College is completely optional. You don't have to go to college. You don't have to go to class. Now, will they drop you from the class if you don't go? Yes. Will your grade be bad if you don't go? Yes. But at the end of the day, it's your money. At the end of the day, there is nobody that is forcing you to go to school every day. I want y'all to get that in your heads, because a lot of people think, oh, I can do 8 a.m. I'll be fine. I did it all my life. No. Because when you get on a college campus, you will quickly realize why that isn't going to work. I want you to know that it's something going on 24/7 on a college campus. And it's going to be things that you want to go to. And it's going to be things that don't end until 2 o'clock in the morning. And you know that in 4 hours, you got to get up. With K through 12, it was a little bit more structured. You was home by 7 o'clock or earlier. So, it's easier for you to go to bed. Now, with the classes 5 days a week, you may not always get lucky and be able to do 2 classes a week. I mean, not 2 classes a week, 2 days a week, or 3 days a week. That is 100% based on how quickly you get scheduled. For me, my freshman year, I did orientation in July. So at orientation, we scheduled our classes, which made me kind of be like July, at the end of July, like that was when orientation ended. So I was at the end cycle. So now all the classes that I need, they're kind of like filled up. So I did have to take classes 5 days a week, which makes me go into my next topic of always be on top of the dates when it comes to registering for classes, because you want to make sure you're getting the best schedule possible. You want to make sure you're getting the schedule that works for you. You want to make sure that you're not having to do 8 a.m. classes or afternoon classes. Afternoon meaning I mean like 5 o'clock classes. And it's gonna get to a point in your degree plan that it's not gonna be too many electives that you need to take anymore. And then it's gonna become strictly like core classes. And those core classes fill up fast. That's why you should always be making sure that as soon as your time ticket opens, you're already going ahead and register for those classes. I know some colleges require students to go see their advisor before they schedule the classes. Being prepared and knowing October 17th registration opens for me, I want you to go ahead and book that advisor appointment in like September. And don't think that you're gonna do a week before registration and think you're gonna get an advisor appointment. No, you're not. Huh? You're not. If your advisor is advisors for last name A through C, do you know how many students that is? That's all finna be trying to register around the same time that you're registering. Just know it's not gonna be easy to get a last minute advising appointment and also be able to register for classes on time. So with that, that just goes back to the point to know your dates for everything, not just registering. You need to know your dates for payments. You need to know your dates for registration, advising. Oh, housing too. Housing is a big thing. I forgot because I wasn't on campus for the last 2 years. Housing is a big thing. Always, and I mean always do early housing, because you do not, like, the last thing you want to do is be stuck in a dorm that you don't want to, like, you want to make sure you have your pick. When I was on campus, I always got my pick, and I never had a roommate. I had always did singles. I just didn't see myself having a roommate, which is why I was always early. So with the knowing your dates, that also brings me to knowing your degree plan. If y'all don't take anything from this video, please take this. Know your degree plan. If you have to print it out, that's fine. If you have to have a PDF saved to your computer or phone, that is completely fine. But always know your degree plan. Do not be relying on these advisors to tell you what classes you need to be taking every semester. Every time I went into an advising, after my freshman year, every time I went into an advising appointment, I took everything they said as a suggestion. And all my advising appointments went like this. Good morning, Kalia. How are you doing today? I'm doing well. How's everything going for your classes? You know, they're going pretty good. Oh, I can see. Yeah, you're doing pretty good in your classes. Yeah. Okay, so for the next semester, I want to take this class, this class, this class, this class, this class. How does that sound? Well, that sounds great, Kalia. Seems like you got it all figured out. Thank you. Have a good day. My advising appointments will last like 10 minutes. That's literally how it would go. Well, I'm not even going to say after my freshman year. It was actually after my sophomore year. It was after my sophomore year is when after my fall sophomore year, that's when my advising appointment started going that way. And the only reason it started going that way is because I basically had to learn a lesson on why I shouldn't trust them. Long story short is that I applied, I had an advisor tell me everything that I needed for my classes, and I applied, I registered for the classes, and I can't really recall what happened within the next 2 days that made me end up having to call the advisor office again. But this time I didn't have an appointment, so it had to be like drop in. And they told me, they were like, this one advisor was like, well, why are you taking this class? Because you already took this class. And I was like, you know what? I thought so. Like, I really thought so, but I thought, I trusted the advisor, and I was like, they know what they're talking about, so maybe I'm tripping. It was really just like a blessing that something came up to where I had to call them within 2 days, and then I was able to drop that class and get another class filled in that position. So always, always, always be on track of your degree plan. Next, I'll go into, before you go to college, stack your money. Every time summer break comes, stack your money. And you'll realize this once you get in college, but for upcoming freshmen, you should know that, yes, you can have a job in college, but are you going to be able to work a lot? No. And the jobs don't pay nothing for real. Like the jobs that, unless you go to a job, like you go work at like Walmart or you work at fast food, that's different. But most of the time, not everybody has cars and not everybody wants to like drive all the way out. So on-campus job is probably the one for them. I had an on-campus job. I was like working at a desk job. It paid like $10 an hour and the shifts were 3 hours. I think I worked maybe 2 to 3 days a week. So you can do the math on that. Them checks was slim. But luckily I had money like saved up over the summer to the point that I didn't really struggle as bad. But just don't think that you can just blow money all summer and that you're gonna get to college and you're gonna be okay and all that, because you're gonna really have to work twice as hard to be able to maintain a certain amount of money while also maintaining your grades in school. It's just gonna be a lot because college is a lot. All right, next thing is be very mindful of what you pack. And I was just having to talk to my aunt because my cousin, he actually just moved into his dorm yesterday, but she was trying to buy him all this stuff and I was telling her like, look, he needs as little as possible. Only bring what you need, and then you can bring a few things, like if you want to bring your game or you want to bring like, you know, things that you feel like, not that you can't live without, but things that just make you can bring that. Don't bring too many clothes. When it's like that fall semester, bring clothes for fall and winter, and then when you're done with fall and winter semester, you go back home, you take all those clothes out, you take them home, and then you switch them out and you do spring and like spring clothes. I say that because we don't move out of our dorms until the end of spring semester. So my freshman year, I done brought all this stuff and I was all the way in Memphis and my home is in Georgia. I'm 5 hours away. So if you're an out-of-state student, it's gonna be harder for you to have family come up and help you move out. And like for me, it was just me moving out. You know, it was just me. It was me by myself and my friends was helping me. And I had to pack up this little bitty Audi that I had, and I ended up having I got to a point I just started throwing stuff away. I was throwing stuff away and I was giving stuff to people and I was like, hey, do y'all want this? I want this. I want this. So yeah, try to bring as little as possible because I want y'all to remember that at the end of the year, you're going to have to take all that home. Next one I want to talk about is AI. And honestly, this is not something that I really had to learn because AI didn't really get popular until maybe my sophomore or junior year of college. So it was not something that I went into college with, but AI is becoming a very normalized thing. I honestly don't care what y'all do when it comes to how y'all get y'all work done. If y'all want to have ChatGPT do your work for you, get it how you live. I don't care. That has nothing to do with me. But what I will tell y'all is I want you to really read your syllabus and don't just act like you read it, because now that it's become so normalized, teachers are now putting in their syllabus like AI policies. Now I know at first it used to be strictly like no AI, this, that, and the third, but some teachers do allow you to use AI as long as you credit that you use AI. Or they'll say like, oh, don't make your whole paper AI, because if I find out that AI is used, then you're gonna get a 0 and it's not credited. A lot of times if it's used and it's not credited at all, they will give you a 0. So some teachers are becoming more lenient. I also want to say that if you're in more so like a STEM degree, if you're gonna use AI to write any type of like research papers or any papers at all, please double check. Make sure that AI is not writing misinformation. Because I had a teacher that says, you know what, I'm not gonna check for AI, but if I read and I spot some misinformation, I'm gonna know it's AI and I'm gonna just give y'all a 0. And you can tell by misinformation, you can really tell when sometimes AI doesn't know what it's talking about, because AI is not 100% guaranteed to be right all the time. Just be mindful, be extra cautious. Please don't just copy and paste and send it over to a humanizer and then send it over to the paper and then don't even read it and just be done, because it will cost you your grade. With AI, I do want you to read the syllabus, and I do want you to watch out for the teachers that do not let you use AI. And there is ways around teachers not knowing that you use AI. And if you want to use that, then use that. All I would say is if you're going to do it, please do not get caught. There are some teachers that are not only going to give you a 0, they're going to give you a 0 and they're going to take it to the board and you can possibly get expelled. Because one thing colleges don't play about is cheating. On to lighter topics. Utilize free programs so much that you can benefit from college. You just know how to look. Like, I know every college has a sort of like website in the sense where it shows all the events that it has. I want y'all to look through them every now and then, because I had got my CPR certification for free just by looking around and seeing it was a CPR course. CPR certifications can be $60 and I got it for free. Next, taking notes on laptops. I personally would say I wouldn't do it. I take all my notes by hand, and it's just the easiest way for me to retain information and to actually make sure that I'm being focused in class. Now, if the times that I have tried to take notes on laptops, I would get distracted. I would start wanting to play a game, or I would start wanting to like do work for other classes. I'm telling you, a lot of people, you would see, like, you would go in your classes and you would feel kind of like the outlier if you're using a pen and paper, because you see everybody on their laptop typing. Trust me, a lot of these people are watching Netflix. A lot of these people are doing work for other classes. There is some people who do actually take notes, but don't think that just because you see everybody with a laptop open, don't think that they're taking notes, or don't think that's the way that everybody's taking notes now. If you take notes on your laptop, you're probably not going to review those notes, because think about it, you're in bed and you're thinking, let me just study real quick. Now you got to get up, open the laptop, type in your password, go to wherever you found your notes at, all that. Well, you can just have a notebook, and you can have that notebook on the side of your bed, open it up, flip to the page. Cool. A lot of my classes towards the back end became a lot of lecture heavy. So it was more just like I just had to sit there and take notes a lot. So I would record him on the voice memo, and while I was taking notes, I would timestamp it. I would always timestamp it. And so I would start it off with, okay, I'll section the notes by, like, say we're talking about like paradigms. So at 1 minute, we're talking about paradigms, and at 5 minutes, we're no longer talking about paradigms. You know what I'm saying? And then I switch into the next topic that we're going to talk about. That's just something that worked for me. If you find you're in a class like that, that absolutely worked for me, and it made it easier, because I'm human. I can only write so fast. Next is learn to socialize, make connections, because with college, you're running into so many people who are walking like a different path of life from you. Like, you can run into people who want to be a lawyer, you can run into people who want to be a doctor, you can run into people who want to be a writer. These are people that contribute, that can contribute to your life long term. You can make a connection with a lawyer, and then 10 years down the line, you need a lawyer, and you'd be like, wait, I had a friend that I made in college. I can call them up, they can be my lawyer. You know what I'm saying? In the real world, you have to make those connections. You have to learn how to talk to people. And I genuinely don't want to hear y'all say that y'all have social anxiety, because you have to get over that. I don't like talking at all. I don't like talking that much, if I don't know you, at least. With that being me, I don't subject myself to being, oh, I'm an introverted person, I don't really talk that much, that's why I'm not going to make connections. No, because this not going to really get me anywhere in life. So I just go up and I speak and I talk. That's why I tell people I'm not really shy. I just don't really care to talk, because I know how to talk. And I'm not saying social anxiety doesn't exist. So don't take me as saying, like, forget your social anxiety as me trying to downplay anything. I'm just saying, do not limit yourself and put yourself in a box because of your social anxiety. And to close off the video, join clubs. It's so fun. You can make so many friends by joining clubs, and you can learn so many new things, and it looks great on your resume. Like, seeing that you were in so many clubs, it just shows how much involvement that you had within your community. It shows that, oh, you weren't just coming to school and just going to class and leaving. Like, you were actually community oriented. So definitely take advantage of joining clubs. Find some interests that you have and join these clubs. And with those, it's like you'll make friends that are interested in the same things that you are interested in. So many good things can come out of that. Yeah, guys, that was the end of this video. And I truly wish you guys a successful college journey, successful college experience. Thank y'all for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time.